One time, pepper spray. Pepper
No,
spray.
I don't want to try pepper spray.
I think we should try once
I,
to see.
I don't.
Maybe we should try outside. We should try it to see how much it
No,
burns for.
no, I don't want to. No, hell no. I would never. Because that shows the type of character that you are. I'm not going to point out for other podcasters why they don't talk about it. If they want to talk about it, they want to talk about it. If they don't want to talk about it, they don't want to talk about it. If I want to talk about it, I want to talk about it. If I don't want to talk about it, then I don't want to talk about it. But I think now you're putting yourself and your family in a situation. Why? Because you decided to go out there and be chaotic. You wanted to stop something and you caused the thing that you wanted to stop. Yeah.
Coming Monday, nothing's gonna happen, bro. It's gonna be the same shit over and over, bro. So we keep doing the same stuff over and over and with no results. And they might ask, yeah, well, what do you think we should do? Bro, there's a lot of things we could do. We can boycott. And you're homeboy as fuck.
Why not?
Yeah, it's not asqueroso, tú, coño. Welcome back again to the number one Latino podcast in the world, Memo.
I'm Omar.
And this is Why Podcast.
Why, bro?
Why not, carnalillo? Why not? This is gonna be a different little topic, bro, because over the weekend we had a lot of riots. You know what I mean? I don't know if you want to get into it.
So it's January 9th, 8th today, Sunday. On Friday, they went to. Well, we're gonna talk about what's going on right now with the in. We're gonna talk about what's going on right now with the in Los Angeles.
Hit home for sure.
Home, yeah. Especially because we were a couple blocks away. Like, there's a couple blocks away, and
Yeah.
you know. So, I do want to make a
Announcement, no?
not announcement,
Statement.
warning. No.
Viewer
Disclaimer.
disclaimer.
We're not
Disclaimer.
We're not educated enough on some of the subjects that we're not educated enough. So some of the stuff we might be speaking out of our mouths, or we might have our thoughts or our emotions
Yeah.
can get on the way. But yeah. So when you guys hear this, I just feel we have this small little cute platform.
Yeah, for sure.
And we want to kind of express ourselves and, kind of feel what's going on with the world. As of June 7th, the Department of Homeland Security has officially entered Los Angeles area. And they've raided a couple places in downtown LA.
Yeah.
And from what it seems like, they're going to be here in the next upcoming 30 days.
Yeah.
Right?
So touching a little bit on Nomar's, I guess. So touching a little bit on Nomar's, I guess, statement right now. So yeah, on what is it, June 7th?
June 7th, June 6th, which was Friday.
So that's when the raids started happening?
Yeah, that's when it was first reported in downtown LA.
Okay, so then we're talking about
Yesterday,
June 8th.
June 8th.
Yeah, so
June 7th. Okay.
no.
June 6th, June 7th, today's June 8th.
Okay.
Tomorrow's June 9th.
So June 7th, around, what is this, 9 a.m., there were reports stating that there was a raid in Paramount, California. And apparently they were raiding a couple of I guess, locations there, right, in front of the Home Depot Center. But I was reading, and according to resources, apparently in those buildings that were getting protested, that ICE were present in, they were using that as a stationary location, basically like a headquarters for ICE, right? So I think they were storing all the equipment there. They're using that as a sanctuary headquarters, so people got confused. This is what I'm reading. I'm not sure if this is correct or not, because it was chaos out there, right? So from what I'm reading here, it was posted on website and everything. That's what they were saying, that there was no raids. There was no raids June 7th in Paramount, California, in that location where there's protests, right? So they were using that as a headquarters for ICE. So ICE was present there. And yeah, I guess they were using that as a headquarters for people to either to seclude them there once they pick up people, whatever it is, and they head down to downtown or whatever the case may be, right?
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, we do not know. I was not there present, although I lived like 5 minutes away from there.
Yeah.
It is unfortunate what's going on, right, bro? I feel like when you start seeing families get separated, shit starts getting real, bro.
Yeah.
Especially if it starts hitting home. Obviously, our background is Mexican as well, and I have a lot of family members that are undocumented. And you start seeing, I guess sometimes you're in denial, right? Because, oh yeah, it has happened to me, it's not going to happen to me. Now it's like close to home, bro, and it's like right in your backyard. So sometimes as a viewer, as a spectator, as somebody as part of a victim, you feel like, shit, man, I don't even know, bro. Like you just feel it's crazy. You feel like the world is coming down on you, right?
Right.
Seeing all those family members, all those parents, all those dad, just getting deported out, like dogs chained like dogs. Like
Hmm.
it's crazy, bro. I mean, any take you on take?
Yeah, no, I think it's wild. I like you said, we've experienced being documented. We might know people that are documented.
I mean, any take you on take?
Yeah, no, I think it's wild. I like you said, we've experienced being documented. We might know people that are documented, or somehow, some way, some of our past generations were documents. And you're right. Sometimes because we don't live it ourselves, that we don't get exposed to that, or some people are not in the same situation as we are.
Yeah.
I want to take the time to share a story that I came across from a personal perspective, from a personal friend of mine, and this happened a few years ago, where a dear friend of mine was in high school, and he came. Well, he obviously he was going to school like he came. Well, he obviously he was going to school like on a regular day, and he got a call from his dad telling him, "Hey, you know what? Like they came and pick me up." So I guess the Department of Homeland Security had his information, where he worked, where he lived, everything. So they went to the house, they picked him up, and then they took him. They took him back to Mexico. And my friend, to this day, he goes and visits his parents over there. They never came back.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he visits his parents over there. So now that I've talked to him, and I was like, "How do you feel about that?" I was like, "Bro, like I got affected by it when I was younger." He's older now. He's probably my age or a little bit older than me, but he's like, "I got affected by it." Yeah, it was like it was pretty bad. It felt like a nightmare, where sometimes I would wake up and expect my parents to be there, but they weren't there anymore. They were,
So he was in high school when that
He
happened.
was in high school, yeah. So a couple of his families took over him, his custody, and he was able to finish high school. He went to go visit them, and now that's the reason why he goes to Mexico, to go
Yeah.
visit his parents. Even to this day, he says like, yeah, it would be dope to have my dad here. It would be dope to have my family here, but it's rough. Because his whole family was here. It would be dope to have my dad here. It would be dope to have my family here, but it's rough. Because his whole family was here at one point, but everybody had to go back because of the same situation. So I mean, he's doing good now, but he definitely understands and he feels for people that are going through it right now, and especially kids, man. The kids are the ones that kind of get the end of the stick at times, and you hate to see that, right? But you were saying you wanted to.
Yeah, I just like I said, I feel like when people are in fear, we tend to retaliate, right?
Right.
Now, I'm not saying protesting is not good, which I think protesting is good, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I do want to touch base on what happened the aftermath during the whole rape situation that's been going on. People have been protesting. It has not been a peaceful protest, right?
Right.
Um, so I mean, I don't know how else to dive in. I don't feel that protesting that, what I saying.
Let me see if I could help you out here.
I'm trying to find the
layout.
words. Vandalizing.
Right. So the you're talking about it shouldn't be okay for violence, right?
Yeah.
Burning cars, burning property,
Property, yeah.
burning all stuff, and I agree with you. And in no way, shape, or form should that be okay. And people enjoy chaos. Sadly, I can honestly say and make the case that what, sometimes it gets triggered by the departments, right? From my understanding, some of this protest initially, when they start the protest, they go with peace and they make everybody aware. Hey, you know what? We're going with peace. Let's try to keep peaceful. But there's always that one person that can create everything chaotic, right? If he throws a rock, they're gonna go ahead and get a reaction back. And I wish I could make the point where they might. He might go even as far as like maybe having people from
Yeah,
chaotic, right? If he throws a rock, they're gonna go ahead and get a reaction back. And I wish I could make the point where they might. He might go even as far as like maybe having people from those departments sending those people to go in there and start chaotic, because that's initially. But we've seen it in the past. When the Lakers win, we see chaotic. When the Dodgers win, we see chaotic. It's kind of like it's not okay. And I agree with you. We shouldn't condone that. But sometimes it just takes that one person to make everybody else look bad, man.
Yeah. So going back to
Bad, man.
the whole raids, people were throwing rocks. I mean, look, it's bro, like people. I mean, it's just hard. You know what I mean? Because
Right.
during the whole situation in Paramount, people obviously people were throwing stuff, getting aggressive, vandalizing things. I just never understood that. What is vandalizing your own neighborhood gonna do for you, right? So they start vandalizing cars in the middle of the street. They start burning tires. I don't get it. They start bringing Mexican flags,
Right.
other countries' flags, right?
Mm-hmm.
That blows my mind, bro. And I'm not saying like I'm a Mexican American, bro, but I live in America, bro. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's just it trips me out because I feel like I'm a hypocrite too for sometimes. You know what I mean?
Why? How so?
Because I feel like it's just something culturally with Mexicans that we're proud. We're proud to be. We have descendants from Mexico. You know what I mean? I think it comes from your parents, especially being a first time American. Was that first time? What does he call it? Like a first time,
First
first
generation.
generation. Um, it brings some type of enjoyment that not enjoyment, but I feel like your parents struggled for you to have a better life here, right?
Right.
And vandalizing the country that has given you a lot of opportunities to what to get a point across. I don't think has ever worked, bro.
Mm-hmm.
We've always vandalized stuff. Now, when they start vandalizing property, like these mom and pop shops, bro.
Yeah.
Who most of those mom and pop shops are not most of them, but the majority of them might be small mom and pop shops. Like they're not like corporation stuff. You know what I mean? So when you vandalize those type of stores, for what reason, bro? Like what's the reason behind that?
Right.
Burning tires. I don't know. I just when I see that I'm like, dude, like, what is that gonna do for us? We're basically shitting
Where we
in our
sleep.
where we sleep, bro.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying all the people from Compton are the ones that ride it there because there are people that come from everywhere, right?
Right.
Once you start seeing people start fucking driving from everywhere to come to a location where it's chaos. Aftermath, after the whole incident happened Sunday morning, there was people out there actually cleaning, like citizens that are just cleaning the roads because it was so jacked up, bro. They were just sweeping around. Like nobody paid them to do that. They were just sweeping.
Yeah.
But nobody was publicizing that. Nobody was making that a big headline. They were just making the headline of all the desmadre que había after, like citizens that are just cleaning the roads because it was so jacked up, bro. They were just sweeping around. Like nobody paid them to do that. They were just sweeping.
Yeah.
But nobody was publicizing that. Nobody was making that a big headline. They were just making the headline of all the desmadre que había after, during that. I just feel that it makes us look bad, bro. Because in order for us to protest better, look, there's gonna be chaos, like there's been before.
Yeah.
Coming Monday, nothing's gonna happen, bro. It's gonna be the same shit over and over, bro. So we keep doing the same stuff over and over and with no results. And they might ask, yeah, well, what do you think we should do? Bro, there's a lot of things we could do. We can boycott a lot of things, but boycott as a group whole, not just some do it, us the other don't do it, like as a whole, bro, to make sure the unity we have and how much power we could have if we all unite way. But if we start doing this madre, to for what purpose?
Yeah. It's And I mean, I'm not trying to put excuses on why they do that, but I do want to play a devil's advocate, which I still don't agree with those actions being okay with. The reason why I say this is because it feels everything that's going on, right, based on just social media,
Yeah.
the news, people that you're fear for that they might not be here because of what's happening right now.
Yeah.
the news, people that you're fear for that they might not be here because of what's happening right now. It can really build some type of emotion for you,
Of course.
right? Furious, angry, frustrated, anxiety, and that causes your actions,
Yeah.
tagging, vandalizing vehicles, burning cars, burning tires. Now, it's not okay, but I feel like because it's an emotional way of them expressing themselves, right?
Yeah.
It says F this department, yeah, I have this department, right? And they go and they tag it up, and they're like, yeah, that's right. It's the way
Like release.
it's the way they're expressing themselves because of like so much anger built in,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Expressing themselves because of like so much anger built in,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It got to the point where I wanted to go out there and protest today.
Okay.
I wanted to go and be like, there was a protest over there in East LA that was walking their way down to downtown LA, and I was like, dude, like I'm gonna go, like I really want to stand up for the people, like 'cause it's not okay,
Yeah.
like
Yeah. Of
none of
course.
this. But at the same time, it's like I put myself in a situation where like I have daughters now, have a family, things can go the left, like the wrong way any minute, you know. I mean, who knows? Maybe a maniac can go and run over the whole crowd
Yeah.
because he's against whatever they're protesting for. So I start thinking of this stuff. It's like, dude, like it's not cool. Like it's not okay.
Yeah.
So I understand why people can feel this way, but I want to take it a little bit step further on this. Okay, I've met and I live with and I got to know and I have family members are first generation immigrants. They've come here to have a better life. They've come here to have a better life for their kids, and they've come here to chase the American dream. The problem that some people might not be aware of is technology has advanced in so many ways, not only in this country, in many countries. We just don't, we're not aware of it.
Yeah.
What I mean by technology is there's cameras everywhere. There is cameras everywhere. There's camera in cars, there's cameras in buildings, there's cameras in everywhere. So if you ever commit a crime, you're gonna get caught up. There's cameras in buildings, there's cameras in everywhere. So if you ever commit a crime, you're gonna get caught up. This is where I'm going with this. The second generation, they wanna go ahead and do chaotic things, speaking for their home, right? Oh, you know what? My mom's doing, so I'm gonna go fight for her. And you're there and you're throwing rocks at the police. You're throwing burning tires at cars. You're just being destructive out there. What's gonna happen is they're gonna find out who you are, regardless. If you cover your face here, they'll make sure they'll go ahead and go through all the cameras where you walk by until they see you without a mask, and they're gonna be able to know who you are. What's gonna happen? They're gonna go to your house. They're gonna find out that's who you are. Guess who's gonna answer the door?
Your mom.
Exactly. Now you're putting yourself. Guess who's gonna answer the door?
Your mom.
Exactly. Now you're putting yourself and your family in a situation. Why? Because you decided to go out there and be chaotic. You wanted to stop something and you caused the thing that you wanted to stop. And some of you guys are not like, guys, these departments, they have a lot of control. They have face recognition software, technology, cameras. They will find you guys. I won't even say there's live satellites as of now, and nobody's probably aware.
Yeah, there is, bro. I've seen videos. So it's crazy,
There's
bro.
satellites right now that record every second of every millisecond. But nobody's aware of this information. And you make something impactful like hurting an officer, hurting a federal agent, they're going to come after you. You're going to put your family in a situation that you wish you didn't want to put them in.
Yeah, bro. Talking about that, I've seen. It's crazy that you mentioned that because I don't think people are aware of stuff like
They're
that.
not.
Yeah, you're completely right. There was a video of a gentleman throwing rocks as the federal agents kept flying like big ass boulders, bro.
Yeah.
Breaking the window. I mean, obviously they didn't break them because most of these windows were bulletproof, so it was hard for them to get in. But even then, It was throwing rocks with the motorcycle helmet.
Yeah.
I don't think he understands. They're tracking his every move, bro.
Yep.
Like it's rocks with the motorcycle helmet.
Yeah.
I don't think he understands. They're tracking his every move, bro.
Yep.
Like it's insane the amount of technology we have nowadays. You can't even grasp it, right?
Yeah.
It's like so crazy. Like Omar said, they'll track you. They're already tracking you as it is, dude. Like
They're tracking us.
they'll find everything and all the evidence, everything you committed, and then they'll come and get you 6 months, maybe a year later, dude. But you're gonna get consequences because of that. You know what I mean? So when I say there's things we can do to get our voice heard, right? And I don't know, bro. I don't think violence is the answer, right? And I don't know, bro. I don't think violence is the answer, right?
Of course. Here's my thing. Here's my thing. I gotta really tread lightly on that.
Maybe because we're not affected. I mean, like I said,
My question is, will this create something unprecedented?
yeah, I feel like I mean, there's a lot of speculations of what's going on, right?
Right.
They're saying that they planted this so they can have martial law
Right.
come in, right? So they're saying because if you think about it, like on a Saturday, like randomly on a Saturday, like these operations run on Saturdays where most of the people have the day off, so they'll come and do it as much as they did,
Mm-hmm.
and after that, saying police can't control this, that's too chaotic out there, so let's bring in the martial law. What is you know what a martial law is, for?
I'm not too I'm not too educated
So
on that.
apparently, a martial law is basically the military comes into the city, bro. You have no rights. Your rights are automatically removed, bro. So anything you have, you have no rights, bro. Your rights are.
What does
stripped
that
away.
mean, though? What does that mean?
Freedom of speech. You can't come and protest. You can't do anything.
Okay,
Like
okay.
there are like a lot of things in play. I think even sometimes your communication you get cut off at any time in the moment.
Right.
Any little rights you think you had, it's gone.
So at what point? Okay. So at what point do you fight? Do you fight back on that? Would violence be the next action?
Well, at that point, once martial, dude. I mean, if you want to fight against the military that is well equipped to select team, go ahead. It's gonna be a war zone here.
Right.
That's what I'm talking about. Now it's like, these national guards. They all have unlethal weapons, paintball guns,
Right.
pellet guns, smoke bombs.
Right.
That's non-lethal weapons, fool. So
Right.
you can still kind of wiggle yourself out of that, whatever it is. But once like, if it starts getting too out of control, bro, there's no other way but to use lethal.
Right.
Once you get to that point, bro.
Okay, but I mean, I'm not too educated with
Yeah.
with martial law, but like at that point when you're using lethal weapons, like what do? You still, you know what I mean?
Well, yeah. I mean, do you
push back?
okay? No, I you would want to, right? But then, do you have any gun? Do you have guns to fight back?
No, I don't.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't,
So
but-
it's like so now if you're throwing rocks and whatever it is, yeah, it's easy. But then when you start fighting with actual military
Mhm.
combat gear, what else are you gonna do, bro? You can't do anything. You cave in. You cave in. There's nothing else you could do, unless you want to go head to head with the military and find out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like there's other impactful ways to go about this, bro. We've
Right,
tried.
right.
We've tried to desmadre. Every time we try to desmadre, where has that gotten us to?
Nowhere.
So we've tried to desmadre. We've tried ruining our own cities for whatever reason because we're basically shitting where we live in.
Mhm.
Where has that gotten us? Nowhere, bro. That has gotten us nowhere. So now let's step back and think. Let's step back and think like, what can we do to have a great impact? There's a lot of things we could do, bro. We could boycott a lot of things, bro. But not like boycott like de un seco, like just stop buying stuff. Make it impactful. Make us.
How? Yeah, bro. It's
It's because we're not organized, fool. That's what I'm saying. We're not
yeah,
organized.
That part, but like even the idea of like, I really never understood the idea of boycotting stuff. I never understood that. I feel like that hurts more people than it benefits people.
Like, okay, what do you mean? Elaborate.
When you run let's say a store,
Yeah.
okay? When you run a store, they go based off the amount of money. There's goals,
Yeah.
right? They go based off the goal that you have for the day, and they have a payroll that meets
Metrics, whatever.
metrics, right? When you surpass that goal, is usually when they start offering overtime or they start offering more hours to work, right? Because high demand means high um the goal that you have for the day, and they have a payroll that meets
Metrics, whatever.
metrics, right? When you surpass that goal, is usually when they start offering overtime or they start offering more hours to work, right? Because high demand means high um what's it called? High
Supply and demand.
no, when it's high demand, it requires more
More power, manpower.
process, more manpower, right? To continue the operations.
Yeah.
Operations, there you go. More operations, more. So when you don't reach those goals, and you're and let's say you boycott those stores and they don't reach those, people start losing jobs, bro. Hours start getting cut. Companies start getting smaller. So I never understood why boycott.
Mm-hmm. No, I mean, look, bro. You gotta understand. No, I mean, look, bro. You gotta understand. There's sacrifices with these boycotts, bro. Like, yeah, it's gonna affect you. But who's gonna affect more? The fucking billionaires that are doing all this money, no?
They're not. They're not. No,
No?
no. The CEOs, the millionaires are not gonna get affected by it. Matter of fact,
So what do you think will be a
if
good?
you have $1 million, are you gonna get? Are you gonna lose a sleep over $20 that you lost?
But over and over, no.
There's
Somehow.
millionaires that run off paper money. They don't run off cash money.
Mhm.
I never, like I said, I never. If anybody can explain, Econ 101 when it comes to boycotts, I never understood that. Like, yeah, you're gonna lose. They're gonna lose what their shares, and then next year they're gonna go ahead and bring it back up. Why? Because this year they made more money than last year. Their shares go up. I never understood that. Please, somebody explain to me.
So what do you suggest to any viewers? Like, what would? 'Cause I mean, it's easy to be in the fucking camera and talking. Like, we should stop, we should stop doing that. Right? It's
Honestly,
easy,
at this
right?
point, I don't even think there's a solution to anything, bro. There's not. There's absolutely nothing we can do that can change the outcome. They're gonna do it regardless of whatever happens. And it's hard to say that, but that's just the way it's gonna happen. That's the way it's gonna be, and there's nothing we can do, bro. Those protests, there's absolutely nothing we can do.
Really?
I truly believe that.
I don't think so, bro. I think there's always something you can do, bro.
What can you possibly do?
I don't know, bro. But like, start having organizations, bro. Being closed in with the community, bro. Start having organizations. I mean, I've heard there's jobs where they tip off. They tip off that ICE is coming to like, so don't show up to work, fool.
Right.
Like, it starts off by close knit community. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Of course. But regardless, they're not gonna stop.
No, I mean it's an organization, of course.
Yeah, they're not gonna stop. The departments are not gonna stop coming for us, bro.
Now, do you think this is a great use of our tax money, way?
It's not,
Okay, because we're gonna go on another crazy. I don't even know if I want to go into that. I'm talking
bro.
about
The even the tax money that we pay doesn't. It does. Our tax money, bro, funds the state and the government. But if you look at the amount they collect and you look at the amount they spend, it does not add up.
they spend more or
They
what?
spend more than they collect. That's why we have a deficit, bro. That's why we're in debt. That's no fuck. They have unlimited money, and then well, guess what? Obviously there's check and balances, right? Congress puts the money, and then the administration they use it the way they want to use it. If Congress decides, hey, you know what, we're gonna give out this amount of money, guess what? They're just gonna print it out and they're gonna give it out. They don't rely on our tax money. I never, again, that's another thing I never understood. What do you mean by like, oh, they're using our tax money better? Like, bro, they have unlimited money. The government has unlimited money. They don't even go based off the gold that we carry based on the country. It's unlimited money, bro.
Yeah, well, I just mean I want to kind of reel back, obviously, to a situation when and the families are going through it, bro.
Yeah.
Maybe we're talking lightly because we didn't get affected, although it could hit home. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think the best thing we could do, to be honest with you, and I'm going to go and just kind of put this at the end of the podcast, was Honestly, be safe. Be safe out there. Don't. If you don't need to go out, don't go out. I know you. You know we all have bills. I don't know why I keep pointing like that's the camera down there. We have bills to pay. We have mortgage. We got rent to pay. We got we got responsibilities. But just don't go out. Just stay home safe. If you have an idea or you kind of hear rumors that they're gonna show up at your place, just don't go. It's not worth it. Um,
Omar, okay, me look, you say it so lightly, way, but what about if in a situation where you have to fucking work or else you're gonna get evicted?
I mean, if you, the thing there is like one thing about Latino community is that if you see somebody in need, you will help. If I don't even mind helping, if you need help, with groceries, I'm willing to go and get them for you. So yes, you're right, Wade. What if they get evicted? What if they don't have money to buy food? Like one thing about the Latino community, they've always been there for each other.
Yeah. Well, so now,
You can't if somebody was to come knock on your door and be like, "Hey, like, I borrow a cup of water or whatever?" Like, you're not gonna say no, bro.
yeah, Omar, what do you think of these influencers that are not touching the topic, way?
That's another thing.
So now we have a lot of people saying like, "Hey, dude, like all these big influencers, like, hey, dude, why aren't you talking about this? Like, this situation is crazy. Like, why aren't you mentioning anything?" And they are like saying like, some of them are saying like, "Hey, dude, like, because they have contracts with a couple of sponsorships that they cannot talk about certain things, right?"
Mm,
And then people are kind of canceling them because they're like, "Hey, dude, you got those sponsorships because of us.
right.
Us the viewerships we put you on. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
what do you think of that?
Another good bad thing about Latinos.
You're held accountable, bro. I mean, I think
I mean, do you?
why aren't you mentioning anything?" And they are like saying like, some of them are saying like, "Hey, dude, like, because they have contracts with a couple of sponsorships that they cannot talk about certain things, right?"
Mm,
And then people are kind of canceling them because they're like, "Hey, dude, you got those sponsorships because of us.
right.
Us the viewerships we put you on. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
what do you think of that?
Another good bad thing about Latinos.
You're held accountable, bro. I mean, I think,
I mean, do you? Look, bro.
bro, you
This
can
is this is what I preach all the time, bro. Every person's different. We're all human beings. You have your way of thinking, I have my way of thinking.
yeah,
I should always respect people's opinion, whether I agree with them or whether I don't agree with them. It's their life, it's their world. They live it the way they want. When it comes to these influencers, I've noticed that the last couple of hours, and I feel like the people that want to cancel them is other influencers.
really.
Yes, like, oh, este vato no hace nada, esta tiene un 1 millón y no hace nada. It's like, bro, if you could do it, you do it. Don't start pointing fingers, because that shows the type of character that you are. I'm not gonna just point out for other podcasters why they don't talk about it. If they want to talk about it, they want to talk about it. If they don't want to talk about it, they don't want to talk about it. If I want to talk about it, I want to talk about it. If I don't want to talk about it, then I don't want to talk about it. But I think it's all about respecting people's opinions, bro. It's not okay for me to point out people and be like, I feel like that's childish, bro. I feel like I still remember when people will write on me. Oh, miss, he didn't do his homework. Like, bro, what's that? Like, you know what I mean? Like, why? What's the purpose? Oh, you didn't do your homework. Oh, yeah, but he didn't do his homework neither. Like, why? I never understood that. Like,
So you're okay with?
I'm not okay with. I'm okay with whatever they want to do, bro. I have no say on it.
Okay, no, but I'm saying like, what do you think of those influencers that are not talking about it, way?
They
Because
have
they don't
their,
want
they
to
have,
affect
they
their
have their
pocket.
reasons. They have their reasons, bro. They have their reasons.
But when you want to call in the community, Latino community, to come and support you, you want them to come and support you and be like, "Hey, dude, why aren't you supporting me?"
If they don't support me, I'm okay with that too, bro. There's Latino,
No, I'm talking about people that already been supported by Latino. I'm talking about influencers that already been supported by the Latino community,
right?
and now they're already up there and they're not talking shit about anything that was
Well,
going
you
on.
supported them not for many other reasons besides politics, bro.
So you think they shouldn't, like, if they want to talk about
I
it?
don't. I don't think. I strongly agree that you shouldn't help me because I helped you. You should help me because you want to help me. You don't expect anything in return. Like, I don't think that's okay. We.
Okay.
I might
You
be
guys think
wrong.
it's okay?
I might be wrong. I might be 100% wrong.
And also, I think, like I said, I think it's easy for us to be sitting down here behind the
Yeah.
fucking camera talking shit, and what we can do, what we cannot do. But I want to praise somebody, fool, that I really grown fond of, fool.
Can you repeat that?
I said I wanna kind of give a shout out to people that are like putting their mouth.
Where the money is?
Yeah, I guess the money with their mouth is right. So,
Uh-huh.
and this is not a plug in. I don't even think he fucking knows, but this is going back to helping the community, bro, and how his vision has always been helping the community be a better community and be a close knit community way, like Estrada Me Market way.
Oh.
I mean, we talked to him already offline and everything. But even what he shows, right? He's always having these food drives, bro. For what way? He's always coming out of pocket of that, fool. Like, there's no purpose on that. You know what I mean? He just does it out of the kindness of his heart, fool. Like things like that, bro, motivate me to be a better person, bro. Because he's not just like, oh yeah, just no. Like he's about it, bro. They're about it, bro. And they constantly every I don't know. It seems like every month they're doing shit, way.
Yeah.
And that is like, dude, like the shit like that is like, you know, and not even that, dude. When this whole riot shit's happening, they closed down, fool. Because they were saying like, hey, dude, you know what? Like, I don't want to put anybody in danger. I'm gonna close that shit out. And that's just it. Like closing of your business out, fool. You gonna lose money, fool.
Yeah.
You pay, you pay to open that shit running way,
Right.
and when you close it down, that speaks volumes, bro. Like it's not like it's not even about it. It's about morality at that point, bro. It's not even about the money now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like I said, it's just a lot of people out there. I want to give another shout out to Cachichurri, way. A lot of people talk shit. That you know no que cae mal in all the world, but he was stating facts. He's like, hey dude, like I'm out here like I don't know if he was bragging or not, but he's like I'm out here like helping people that are needed. You know, like all these people that are scared to come out,
Mm-hmm.
people that are fucking not being able to go to grocery stores because of this is just getting affected. Like dude, I'm helping them out. Like I'm taking food to their place. Way like
Mm-hmm.
people have been DMing them and stuff like that. You know what I mean? It's just like dude, like there's people about it. You know what I mean? That speaks volume, dude. And I think the community looks out for stuff like that. Fool. I don't know how you feel about that. How do you feel about that way?
No, well, yeah. I mean, I going back to Estrada, the owner.
Yeah, and I feel like maybe because you guys fucking know him. Like, no, it's not even about.
It's
You know
not
what I
even
mean?
about that. No, I think because well, yeah. I mean, aside from us knowing him, we really got to get like a sense of the way he was on a
Yeah.
personal level. I mean, we hung out with him once, and I
Good
mean,
times
we've
with
seen
him,
him a
yeah.
couple times,
Yeah.
but we really got to sit down and kind of pick off his brain and the stuff like his mindset, and he's about helping the community, and like you said, like Memo said, he's mentioned about doing multiple events that he doesn't really need to do them, but because he feels for the community, he's played sports, he's built relationships with the public, the certain departments within the public, the certain politicians, based on my understanding, that were
Yeah.
there. And it's kind of like he has that like relation. He's built the relationship to a point where like he's there to help the community, not just make money off the community, but
Yeah.
help the community. Which yes, I do agree with him, and we've offered help. We told him whenever you guys need us, let us know. Even if it's nothing had to do with the podcast, we could just be there and help out. But yeah, he's a really good guy, and I challenge everybody. Just like I don't need you guys to go and like cure world hunger, but what I talked to my wife and I told her, I think we need to reach out to your family and let them know, like if they need anything, we could deliver it for them or drop it off or maybe get them food or
Yeah.
making sure, just checking up on them, see how they're doing, because
We should do something, bro.
aside from like the whole fear, I mean, it can build like anxiety, it can build like
Yeah, of course.
So we're just talking about it on the way home, and we agree that we're gonna follow up with them, and even some of our family members, they're just kind of like, dude, like it's tough, like they're still unbelief, like they don't believe it's happening.
Yeah, yeah, of course.
And even sometimes myself, I don't believe it's happening. Going back to Saturday, it's weird how the news portrays the situation.
Yeah.
I've noticed that they make it seem like, hey, it's all about like it's violence. It's violent. The protests are violent.
Mm.
But then I was watching, like, I kid you not, everybody was live. Like everybody
Yeah.
was live at Paramount. Everybody drove to Paramount to go live, and there, like, I saw a sense of like I felt like there was a sense of like anger, like a lot of frustration and anger, and they don't show that in the news, and that's what sucks. That
No, and I think that's why TikTok is I mean, any social media platform is it's just good to know, right? Because
Yeah.
you get to see what people are living.
Yeah,
People
from a
that
point
from a
of view.
correct perspective, right? Because I mean, you can say, I mean, the news outlets could portray things that are not, and if you're actually live down there and witnessing what you're seeing down there, and yeah, sometimes, I mean, like I said, every you go to a swipe up, every live on
Yeah.
people going on that stuff, and sometimes it seemed like people were being the aggravators, fool. Like people were the one fucking, like triggering that, like throwing stuff, and it's like I seen a video of two cops in a restaurant. Did you see about that? Did you see that?
No.
There was two cops in the restaurant because I guess they were exposed to pepper spray or to like a smoke bomb,
Oh, that's right. Yeah, yeah, I did.
and the restaurant brought them in. They started like hearing their vision for like putting milk in their eyes to remove all that
Yeah,
shit.
yeah, 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 yeah.
They didn't advertise all that, bro.
They didn't.
I mean, those are the things that we should look at. To like, I mean, not everybody is for the violence, bro. Like, I understand that's all you saw out there, but there's also the stuff where the aftermath of people went out there and started cleaning the streets too. Like, for what? Like, they don't show they don't show the unity. They just show the desmadre, dude. And most of these people are just out there for desmadre, fool.
Yeah.
Like, there was no purpose. There was no cause. It was just fucking desmadre. Like, like I mentioned before, I don't know if that's the best way to do it. I think there's other ways to do it. I think there should be like very organized protest and silence protest, and where you could get your point across. You know what I mean? Because regardless of what, if it's violence or not violence, bro, like you say, people are gonna get picked up regardless, bro.
Yeah.
That's gonna happen regardless, bro. And sometimes, I mean, dude, it's hard, bro. It's hard to even say like, hey, what would you do? Like, I wouldn't even know what I'll do in that situation, bro. If they pick up my family members like that, what? I mean, like, yeah, I don't know. But I don't think I'll react like start trying to freaking hurt. Like, I don't know. I don't think I'll do that, bro. I think I'll just kind of like, we have to think analytically, bro. I think we have to think like, what's the next step? Get lawyered up.
But even lawyers, bro, even lawyers are having a hard time, bro. Lawyers went out there to help out, like people that were getting detained,
Yeah.
and all they got was freaking pepper sprayed and smoke bomb thrown at them. Lawyers, bro, lawyers. Like, hopefully, I mean, I'll cut this out, but hopefully we bring a lawyer here that I have in mind that we have a good connection. But yeah, there's bunch of videos of lawyers coming up there like, dude, like I tried helping, like they're not following the law. There's laws and they need to abide by, but they're just not following them. They don't want to, and they're not going to. Like, it comes to a point where like, what's the point of us having this laws if people are
you
not
don't
gonna
follow
follow them, you know? So I feel for them too, because it's kind of like, sucks. It sucks because you're trying to help out people, but it's like, you got to a point where like I said, there's absolutely nothing we can do.
So you think violence is the answer?
I don't think violence is the answer, but I don't think violence is the answer. But I don't think there's anything we could do that are gonna change. That are gonna change the outcome of their purposes.
Yeah, I can say I think like in that situation, shit, maybe
It's so
I just don't get vandalizing your own city, bro.
yeah. There's bunch of videos of lawyers coming up there like, dude, like I tried helping, like they're not following the law. There's laws and they need to abide by, but they're just not following them. They don't want to, and they're not going to. Like, it comes to a point where like, what's the point of us having this laws if people are
you
not
don't
gonna
follow
follow them, you know? So I feel for them too, because it's kind of like, sucks. It sucks because you're trying to help out people, but it's like, you got to a point where like I said, there's absolutely nothing we can do.
So you think violence is the answer?
I don't think violence is the answer, but I don't think violence is the answer, but I don't think there's anything we could do that are gonna change. That are gonna change the outcome of their purposes.
Yeah, I can say I think like in that situation, shit, maybe
It's so
I just don't get vandalizing your own city, bro.
yeah.
I just like okay, maybe blocking the roads. All right,
Well,
that's fine.
there's
But then you start burning down your restaurant,
yeah.
breaking into a gasoline station and stripping everything there. People walking out with beers. Like, what is that, bro?
So there's a lot of influencers I started following too. They're not influencers. They're actually like veterans. Like they work for the
National Guard?
National Guard. They work for the Department of Homeland Security, and they say words that they're not telling you to do it,
But it could help
but
us,
they're telling you that it can get done, right?
Mhm.
Like one of them says, like, guys, like I work for the National Guard. There's three things you could do without doing violence, but yet it's kind of violence, you know. And they say
Well, maybe
words like,
because
they say keywords like it's hot out there, so maybe I should do water balloons and fill them up with
oil and sand.
color, water with color. You know, like stuff like that, and then throw it at the windows, and then that, you know, like, and the windows are gonna be
Hard to clean.
hard to clean, and then like like maybe carry chains and lock the tires. Like you're not hurting them directly, but you're
Enabling them.
enabling them
Disabling
to
them.
move forward with their operations. You know, bro, because I would see videos of like their point of view, and they go through like 4 or 5 different tires. I'm like, dude, I would fucking pop those tires fast, like ta and the sun. What are they gonna do? Like, is that
Eh,
considered vandalism? Yes,
Yeah, of
it
course it
is.
is.
But
Okay, Omar, what do you think of, before we wrap it up, what do you think of protesters taking their kids, bro?
that's wild, bro.
I only say that because I've seen a picture of a little boy crying his lungs out because in a stroller because their mom took, I don't know who it was. They took the kid to a protest and he got pepper sprayed, bro. I don't, maybe we should try one time pepper spray. A pepper
No,
spray.
I don't want to try pepper spray.
I think we should try once
I,
to see.
I don't.
Maybe we should try outside to try it to see how much it
No,
burns for.
no, I don't want to. No, hell no. I would never. Bro, no, I wouldn't.
They say you can't spray directly in your eyes, but maybe on top of the forehead.
Yes.
Maybe we should try to see what the level of agony you get in your eyes.
Level a million. Bro, I seen like unlimited videos of pepper spray.
So when I see a little kid, I'm like, dude, what do you? First of all, I can't blame the kid for the kid's like, boy, he was little. Way.
Yeah, why would you blame the kid?
Why would you bring a kid to a hostile situation, bro?
I didn't see that, bro. I think that would. You telling me gets me mad, bro. I would fucking report that video to child services. Bro, that is not okay. That
She
is
wanted to help
not okay.
She wanted to help
bro.
the cause. Anyways,
I feel like this podcast was about attacking our own people than what the administration is doing. I mean, I don't condone anything they're doing, bro. I don't think they're doing right. I don't think they're helping the community. I think they're doing it intentionally. I think, there's rules they need to follow. There's laws they need to follow, and they haven't. Uh, I'm not educated enough to even say any of those laws. But I think there's a better way. I was talking to you about this earlier, right? And I told them I feel like they could have been, like, if they're gonna do something, they should have done it more organized
yeah, of
without
course you told
creating
me though.
without creating chaos in the community. And I feel like everything was done purposely. The tactical gear, like the just everything was done intentionally to rattle everybody, and that's what they wanted, and that's what they got. And who knows? All I can really say before we wrap up this podcast is, guys, be safe, stay safe out there. If you don't need to go out, don't go out. If you can prevent going towards those areas that are being targeted, please try to prevent. Try to stay home.
I want to add something real quick, Omar. If you have kids, bro, teenagers, you guys gotta understand that your consequences, like Omar mentioned before, can have a cause and effect.
Yeah.
You're doing vandalizing stuff can hinder not only your safety but your family safety too, dude. Because there's cameras everywhere, bro. I think we need to really think about that, bro.
Yeah.
And yeah, maybe the consequences might not come right now, tomorrow, in a week. No, dude, it takes a process, bro.
Yeah.
To find all the evidence and everything, it takes a process, but it'll come, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, we need to stay safe, bro. I think, like Omar said, I think we need to start building a better, close knit community, organizing ourselves better.
Yeah. And like I was saying, you know, now that you mentioned, people that have kids, it's a very hard conversation you need to have, and it's a very hard situation that you need to acknowledge. And especially, like you said, if you have kids, you need to have this talk with your kids, and you need to have this kind of like plan B if anything goes sideways. If you have family members, that can kind of step up in case anything happens to you guys. have this conversation with your kids. Have a bag ready, phone numbers you guys need to, contact, paperwork, any personal documents like social security,
Yeah,
birth
bro.
certificates. You guys need to have all this ready, just because you don't know what's gonna happen, especially now with everything that's going on. I really hope and pray that everything stops tomorrow, but based on everything, the information that's been out there, it seems like it's not gonna go for the next 30 days. Hopefully, by the next time you guys see this podcast, or by next time we record, there's a different outcome, a better outcome, and it's not worse. But I think ultimately, just be safe, stay out of trouble, and reach out to your loved ones. Reach out to anybody that you might know that might be affected by this. Even regarding of their immigration status, just reach out to them and just check up on them, check on your family. I think that's it. That's all I got for the day. I don't even want to have any last advice.
Nothing. Just stay safe out there, man.
We'll catch you guys on to the next. Remember, every Wednesday at 9 a.m. We'll see you guys next, okay?
Peace.
Peace.